How far would you go to support your child? For the parents of a gay son, it meant taking out an advertisement in the newspaper to show their support. The ad says the parents of Drake are pleased to announce that their son has come out. Drake is currently a senior in high school, where he's captain of the tennis team, ASB vice president, and an NHS member. He is a church deacon and enjoys filmmaking and baking. And yes, he adores Barbra Streisand.
Hi, sorry to interrupt, but the kid in this ad is me. My mom actually masterminded this viral little moment a year after I came out, and, well, I'll let Merideth explain.
And the reason the family did this, they're actually from Washington State, but they posted the ad in the Houston Chronicle because they were upset about an ordinance in that city that failed to pass that would have protected gay and transgendered children. So this was their way of saying to parents there,
right,
you know, accept your child, love your child, be proud of your child. And I thought it was really so wonderful.
Yeah. It's so beautiful to see something like, yes, it was a joke, but there was so much love behind this. And, you know, this can't happen enough. Until the tides really turn for LGBT acceptance, you can't have enough of these things out there and parents supporting their kids. So, you know, some kid in Houston will see this and
feel
think,
better
oh my
about
gosh, I feel better about myself.
Yeah.
This all came only a few months after marriage equality was secured by the United States Supreme Court. And, well, it really taught me that progress is not linear by any means. Once upon a time, in a land not far away, lived the LGBTQ+ community. They were a beautiful community full of love, acceptance, art, and ideas. They pioneered language, culture, and innovation. But for one reason or another, mainstream society despised their existence. From outlawing their identities, turning a blind eye to their suffering, and granting them second-class status across all aspects of society, queer people have long fought for basic human rights. Then, on June 26, 2015, the United States Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage. Overnight, queer people across America were welcomed with open arms to experience the full promise upon which our nation was founded, that all people are created equal, and everyone lived happily ever after. Generations of queer people before me have forged monumental change over the past several decades, but in the last 4 years, we've seen a dramatic rise in anti-LGBTQ legislation across the country. In an effort to better understand this legislation and the people it impacts most, my best friend Lily and I are going on a great American road trip across the country in 14 days.
But who better to accompany us on this journey than the mastermind behind this viral moment and her posse of moms known as the Society of Lucky Mothers? Who are these mothers, and why are they so lucky?
One day I was at church, and I was in a class, and a man stood up and said, the Bible said homosexuality was evil and he would believe that till the day he died. And when I heard that, that's when I realized that I needed to stop my silence. I was always affirming, and I just thought everybody else was taking care of business and I didn't really need to do anything. Because, you know, it seemed like gay rights were happening all around us, and they were doing a really good job, and I didn't think I had a part in it. And then when that man said that, it just broke my heart. And I knew that instead we needed to celebrate LGBT people and kids and normalize the language around it. And part of that, right then and there in my mind, I thought, I'm a lucky mother because I have a kid that's gay. And so therefore it's like Society of Lucky Mothers. It was just kind of a natural thing.
Okay.
So,
my name.
Your name and your relation to the Society of Lucky Mothers.
Okay, my name is Rachel Escoto.
Merideth Stephens.
and Molitor.
Lynn Schilaty.
Joan Robinett Wilson, and I guess I'm one of the founding mothers.
I'm a co-founder of the Society of Lucky Mothers and the executive director.
I am lucky to be a lucky mother.
My child's best friend had a wonderful mother who formed the Society of Lucky Mothers.
I am the fairy parent of the GSA at the middle school, and I just, you know, it's just important to me that kids feel as lucky as we feel to be their moms. So I don't know, that's how.
We had started the Society of Lucky Mothers to celebrate the gay kids in our community.
I want to say February of 2015, and so that's when it all started, and that was actually a really big year for LGBT rights. It was a really exciting year because that's when we got marriage equality that June.
And then meanwhile, within our community, the school district was tasked to come up with a Trans 101 policy. And it had been presented through the school board and had kind of gone under the radar. And then it had a second reading and people came out and they wanted to challenge it. So we decided, well, we really need to get our community on board. And so we decided to have Trans 101 sessions.
Through the previous summer, we had met Marcia Botzer, who's the head of Ingersoll Gender Center, which was founded in Seattle in 1977, kind of the queen mother of transgender rights, just, right down the street from us. And so Lynn and I contacted Marcia, and she was willing to come and help educate our community. And so we ran them out of our houses, a couple of sessions.
And we got a really great community response from that.
In doing these, we got to know Sarah and V, her daughter.
Proud trans woman of color here, V. Andre, and today I'm going to be talking about my body being natural. Well, hello, I'm V. Andre. I do activism work online, and I've been doing it for about 4 years now. So yeah, just share my story about me being trans, unapologetic, and through that I get to inspire others to kind of share their own stories or just, comfortably live their truth. I met the Society of Lucky Mothers when there was some trans inclusivity policies going in with my school. There was also the I-1515 bill that was going around in the state of Washington, in the US in general, where people got to decide and vote if they felt comfortable enough for trans people to simply just use the bathroom. Society of Lucky Mothers was there to kind of just be an allyship to help us be at the forefront with the community and not sort of be alone. So yeah, we just ended up just fighting the fight together. Through that, we made a campaign where we basically just were trying to put the message that cis people and trans people are doing the exact same thing when we're going to the bathroom. There's no predatory behavior, and if there is, that's not what we represent. The way we went about it with the message that we were trying to portray was that physical representation of a trans person validates if they should go into the bathroom or not. But, we were just trying to get the message across. So with that, we learned with making those actual campaigns, I just kind of felt like it was destined to what I wanted to do. I felt very passionate about it. I don't know, we just kind of continued to do advocacy work together, and we were marching in the pride parades together, and the parades of Snohomish together. So yeah, we just kind of continued with each other. In full honesty, all that discrimination of just feeling ostracized as a kid for simply existing, I kind of felt empowered by the support systems I had, like Lucky Mothers and my own mom. So when we were making moves like this with the bathroom bill, it just felt like a very empowering experience because I got to, be celebrated for who I am as a person for the first time. With legislation, there's been a lot of anti-LGBTQ bills going around. And to that I feel, honestly, they're kind of afraid of us existing in a sense because it's been so black and white for so long. When I get to share my queer joy as a person, I think it inspires others to, kind of see that I am just truly who I am, and they kind of see, without the stereotypes and stigmas around me, that I am human. And so with that, they see that I am joyful in my experience. They see that I have a support system around me, and maybe that's something that can be their own experience.
Before we hit the road, we need a glimpse into the anti-LGBTQ legislation being introduced and passed across the U.S. Cue the moms. So go ahead and just read that first bill.
Utah's House Bill 11 has banned trans kids from playing on sports teams that align with their gender identity. Utah's Governor Spencer Cox vetoed the bill,
but the legislature overrode his veto. At the time of its passage, there were only 4 student athletes who identified as transgender.
The notion of transgender girls having an unfair advantage in sports is based on the physical changes caused by testosterone.
Transgender girls on puberty blockers, on the other hand, have negligible testosterone levels.
Okay. As a former athlete, I love competition, so I could care less who I was playing against.
Getting into the nuances of people's hormone levels is insane. You know, it makes no sense to me.
How often do we change laws for 4 people in a state? It doesn't happen.
A Wyoming amendment to the budget was passed to terminate funding for the University of Wyoming's Gender and Women's Studies program. Tragic.
That really passed?
Oh my. That's a step back for all.
So if we take away the funding, we disallow education, then the problem will go away? No. If we take away the funding and we don't allow people to learn and study about it, then we will never understand, and we'll just have the problem that we won't understand.
If passed, Tennessee's HB 800 would ban books and instructional materials that promote, normalize, support, or address lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender issues or lifestyle. Well, I'm happy with one word in here, which is if, so it hasn't happened yet.
What the hell is a gay lifestyle, or a transgender lifestyle, or a lesbian lifestyle? It's ridiculous.
Banning any books is just at the core wrong.
What are they afraid of?
Again, just something that's really sad and so important for children who are gay, bisexual, trans to have material to refer to. So I hope it doesn't pass.
Tennessee Senate Bill 2777 is advancing through the state legislature and would permit teachers to misgender their transgender students. The measure would allow the state's public school staff to refuse to use the student's preferred pronoun when referring to the student if the preferred pronoun is not consistent with the student's biological sex.
Who is the teacher to decide what a person is, what the person feels they are and are? Just stupid.
Again, how sad. These kids need their identity to be affirmed and to be recognized. These kids, again, are so vulnerable, especially in the school setting.
Florida's Parental Rights in Education Bill, also known as the Don't Say Gay or Trans Bill, was signed into law by Governor Ron DeSantis on March 28, 2022. The bill bans teachers from talking about LGBTQ+ issues or people. Again, another absolutely ridiculous piece of legislation.
This man is sick, and I just think about all those kids who are struggling to figure out where they fit into this world living in Florida.
We're on a really slippery slope of shutting down our First Amendment rights because these aren't the First Amendment rights that people are interested in. They don't want people to be able to say anything that offends their sensibilities. And the sad part about it is, why does it offend their sensibilities? It's not about them.
You can't just stop talking about something and make it go away. It's here to stay. That's all I got to say about that.
If my child who is gay, if this legislation was in play when he was, just coming to terms with who he was and who he loved, I probably would have been, way more politically active.
Even in the best of circumstances, in the nicest of families, the most affirming families that are in affirming churches and an affirming state, it's still hard to come out.
I feel so grateful I am so grateful that my child was comfortable coming out to us and that he has found true love, and we have a new member of our family and have had for years now.
If I knew a child that was struggling with their gender identity, their sexual orientation, I would just want them to know they were loved. And there are people out there that love them. And then I think Dan Savage has that saying that it gets better. And it does, it gets better. And you grow up and you can choose your own people. And hopefully you have a supportive family. If you don't, you can join my family.
I am, for some reason, really passionate about this issue, and it's really important to me, and it's really important to me that especially young people know that they are loved and celebrated and seen just how they are, and their sexuality or their gender identity doesn't have anything to do with it.
Well, Lily, I think it's time we hit the road. What do you say?
I'm already one step ahead of you.